Listen, what is one thing that you believe in so deeply that you would shout it from the rooftops? It is your hill to die on, even if it ruffled a few feathers. Most practitioners I've found play it safe and we're afraid to take a stand. But here's the truth. If you don't stand for something, you're going to blend into the background. So today, we are going to talk about owning your convictions like a boss, planting your flag, and unapologetically attracting the right people by being authentically you. All right, let's go. Welcome to the Clinical Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Rhonda, your no-fluff, tell it like it is business bestie for wellness practitioners just like you who want to build a practice you love and make a bigger impact and a little money while you're at it. So if you're ready to ditch the overwhelm, attract your dream, ideal patients, and finally run your practice with complete confidence, you're in the right place. Each week, we're tackling things from programs to patient retention to marketing strategies that actually work, sprinkled, of course, with a little sass, a lot of heart, and the step-by-step strategies that will help you get there. So grab your cup of coffee, your notebook, or whatever keeps you going, and let's build a practice you love and a life you love together. I recently have been having some internal conversations with myself about my own convictions and what I really am here for. What do I make a stand for, in my life, or as it has to do with you all in our businesses? So I want to talk to you about this concept of having a conviction or a hill that you're willing to die on. Well, first, what does it really mean to take a stand? Well, I would argue, and I think that you all would agree, that we are in this collective community of people who love wellness. We love using, good quality supplements. We love helping people get better. And we believe that the body has the innate ability to heal itself given the right environment, circumstances, food, etc. So that's one form of a stand, right? We are saying we don't need to rely on Western medicine as it has to do with, ongoing preventative care. Like just because cholesterol is high does not mean you have a statin deficiency. It just means that the body is telling you something else, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe that high cholesterol is fine. And that might be a stand that you have. But collectively, we all believe in basically the same thing. And it's easy to take a, quote, stand when you're taking a stand with a whole bunch of other people that believe the same thing. That doesn't require any risk on your part or my part. But we tend to say, yeah, I'm a chiropractor, I'm an acupuncturist, I'm a health coach, I do wellness. It's easy to do that. But behind that, like if you peel back the layer, what is it that makes you different? What is it that makes you stand out from the crowd? It doesn't mean that you're rigid. It doesn't mean that you're going to be obnoxious about it. But I want you to think about, what is the thing that you would be willing to go to the mat with someone about? I mean, you're going to go, you're wrong. I'm not advocating being mean, but does that make sense? I want you to think about how can you be the thought leader? How can you be that person that has a standoutable conviction? I don't think that's really a word. But how do you create that? How do you find that within yourself? Because what we do is we just play it safe, right? We're just going to say, well, I'm just a wellness practitioner. I believe in whole food supplements, or I believe in herbs, or I believe in, chiropractic is the answer to all things, or acupuncture is the answer, craniosacral is the answer. That's fine. And you can die on that hill if you want to. And I love that you would be willing to do that. I think it's awesome. But people are drawn to conviction and confidence. That's what they want to see, not some beige, mamsy-pamsy practitioner that's like, well, we could do it this way. We might be able to do it that way. None of this lukewarm fence-sitting business. You're either on one side of the fence or you're on the other side of the fence. What is the thing that you are convicted about and you're going to make it your stance? So let me give you some examples. Think about Weston A. Price. If those of you listening, you don't know, go look up westonaprice.org. Weston A. Price was a pioneer. He stood up for something that was in the face of the conventional belief or the traditional belief at that time. Now, whether the opinion at the time was driven by the pharmaceutical industry, whatever the circumstances were, nonetheless, he made his own hill, and he was willing to die on that hill of nutrition and how it affected the mouth, how it affected the physical body as evidenced with the teeth. And that was his hill to die on. So you could think of like Andrew Weil. So Andrew Weil isn't as popular as he used to be, but when he came on the scene, his opinion was not popular. And everybody looked at him as being like a wacko and a weirdo. Now, maybe you and I didn't, because we were like, yes, we get it. But he was willing to put himself out there and say, this is what I believe, just like Weston A. Price. Think about now today, more relevant, I suppose, would be, for instance, Brian Ardis. Now, you may never have heard of Brian Ardis, but recently, in the last few years, he has come out and his hill to die on is about nicotine and the power of nicotine in the body. Specifically, it's kind of started with COVID. And he's also got a hill to die on. He's talking a lot about venoms, like snake venoms that they're using in pharmaceutical drugs, which is pretty fascinating. And if you're honest, probably pretty out there. You're like, come on, no way. Or another good example I just thought of is the whole conversation about viruses aren't real. Somebody had to get out there, do the research, and get a conviction. And that conviction led them to basically create a platform that says, listen, this is what I believe, and this is the hill I'm going to die on, period. Now, they might be wrong, but my goodness, the world doesn't get changed by people who think that they might be wrong, and so they're never willing to take a chance. Did you hear that? Like, the world does not change unless someone's willing to put themselves out there and take a chance to say, this is what I believe to be true. No new ideas come because someone sits back and thinks, well, I'm just going to follow the crowd and stay in our little wellness bubble with all my little wellness friends who are also in the wellness space, and we're also doing, food-based supplements or whatever. There's no risk there. So what's your hill? What is the hill that you are willing to die on? And I don't mean that literally, so don't take it wrong. But what's the hill that you would say, listen, I'm so passionate about this. I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable to talk about. This is what I'm passionate about. And I have a right to have an opinion, just like you have a right to have an opinion. It's okay. Let me ask you this. What is a common belief in your specific niche or industry? We'll call it, I don't know. We'll call the wellness industry. We'll call it that. What is a belief that you disagree with? What is something that, like, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I'll deal with it later. What is something that is a popular belief amongst your peers that you are adamantly opposed to? Just think about that. What is something that you go, yeah, everybody else thinks it's this, like Brian Ardis. He's like, no, nicotine. It solves all the world's problems. Maybe it's ivermectin. Maybe you went down the ivermectin rabbit hole. I don't know. But what is a common belief in the wellness space that you completely disagree with? And what's a topic or something that you wish more people knew about? And if they knew about it, it would change their life. And you would be willing to talk about this thing forever, even if it made people uncomfortable. What is that thing? Well, I can tell you, I've got several of them. But one of my big things that I am absolutely going to the mat with anyone who wants to talk crap about this. One of my big hills is the use of bioidentical hormones. Absolutely don't believe in it. 1,000%. And don't come for me either. Do not come at me. If you want to message me and you want to have a conversation, I'll consider that. I'm fine. But don't come at me, because this is a hill I'm willing to die on. I have clinical evidence. I have seen it over and over and over and over again. The unwanted, unintended, and very dangerous side effects of bioidentical hormones. But in the bioidentical hormone industry, it's the dirty little secret that they don't want to tell anyone. And this, if you want more information, you can go back. I recorded a podcast. It's probably been a year or so now, but it's on, I'll link it in the show notes, but it's on the dangers of bioidentical hormones. On that note, it was in the top 10 most viewed, most listened to podcasts I've ever done. So do you see when you come out with a statement that's a bit controversial, people lean in because they want to know, well, why do you say bioidentical hormones are bad? I'll go to the mat. I flat out go to the mat. And there are people that say, oh, every woman needs bioidentical hormones. They'll save your life. Okay, fine. That could be your hill, but you and I are definitely on different hills. So what hill are you on? What stance do you want to take? Because when you take that stance, what happens is you start attracting people that are like you. You start to attract people that say, I actually kind of think that too. So now I know Joe, the chiropractor, he's my guy. Because I like that. I like that he has an opinion. Remember, confidence is attractive. When you have conviction and you have confidence about something, people tend to lean in and they want to know more. It allows you to educate and influence people that either haven't been exposed to that opinion or maybe they're just like riding the fence. They're like, well, I don't know, maybe not. But the whole key is that confidence and the conviction. And then, of course, you have to bring receipts. Like I can bring receipts. I can bring clinical receipts. I have test after test after test after test after test. I can show you. I can see it. I've seen it. You can't unargue me out of this. This is no way. My feet are on the hill. You can't talk me out of it. I don't care. So don't come at me. So if you're afraid of backlash, I get it. Sometimes you think, oh, geez, I don't know if I want to say that because if I say that, then people are going to come at me or they're going to be mad or I'm going to alienate my population. Well, not everybody's going to agree with you and not everyone agrees with me and it's okay. I always say, I may not be your right flavor popsicle and that's okay. Go find yourself a different flavor. Maybe you like chocolate and I'm vanilla. I don't know. But it's okay. I would rather have people in my life and in my practice, in my world, that believe the same things that I do. It's not a good match for me if they don't, because then I feel like I'm pushing rope uphill or I'm dragging them up the hill. I want to go together with someone who's open and wants to hear or think about the things that are important to me because those are my people. You can't have a successful practice. And I know I'm stepping out on a big limb here. I'm probably going to offend some of you, but you know I love you. But your practice will be less successful when you worry about people that don't align with your beliefs more than you're willing to speak up and have something that you stand for. That conviction, that confidence. You have to know that you know. It's like, for us, we know that using food to heal the body is the best way. I mean, I say us because there's maybe some of you listening that aren't on that train yet, but a lot of the listeners, a lot of you all are. And we're pretty firm in that belief. We believe that. Now, we might make a little exception here or there, but it's kind of like your diet. You're good 6 days out of the week, and maybe you have one day that you just go have cake or something. It's not going to be a deal breaker. But by and large, you're really trying to take care of the earth suit that you have and make it as healthy as you can make it. That's a stand, but that's a stand that everybody has. What is the thing that makes you different? What is the thing that you say, I don't care what you say, this is what I absolutely believe. And then there are going to be people who are going to push back with you. And it's okay. You just be very graceful and very kind, but don't waste your time arguing with people that don't want to hear. There are some people that I've had conversations with about, let's say, the alkaline water. That's another hill I'm willing to die on. 100% going to die on that hill. That's a no. It's a hard no for me. And then there are people that come back to me with all this science about it. And I just have my own science, which is called physiology, basic physiology, stomach physiology 101 is what that's called. And they want to go out on all this paid for, science. No. We're going to just talk about how the body works. And that's my response. And I'm kind, but I'm very clear. And it's not something that I'm just not willing to give it up. Now, what if in 5 years I'm wrong? I go, wow, okay, well, I believed something that wasn't true. I thought that was the case, but it's not the case. But boy, it's going to be a big shift for me to not believe that alkaline water is good for you. And it's going to be a huger shift for me to ever believe that we are born with a bioidentical hormone deficiency. That's a really big stretch for me. It's a hard no. And I might be wrong, but for now, it's the hill I'm willing to die on. So what's your hill? What is the hill that you're willing to say, I don't care. I am going to do this. What is the one thing that you believe in so strongly that you're willing to make it a core aspect of your practice? Because for me, with the bioidentical hormones, it fits into what I do with women, the work that I do with women. And if someone comes to me and they're like, you're not taking me off my bioidentical hormones, I say, okay, but let me explain the risks to you and the risks to the people around you. And then you get to make that decision. And it's okay. I don't need to be the hormone police. I'm not here to be the hormone police. I just have a really strong opinion about this that's formed by my clinical experience in all these years. And you can take it and incorporate it into what you do, whether you want to use the bioidenticals or not. It's up to you. It's up to you. So what's your hill? What's your thing? Send me a message or send me an email because I really would love to know. I'm curious. So you know mine. Now you got to tell me yours. All you have to do, just send me an email. You can always send it to support@rondanelson.com. That comes in and I see all of them. So send it to support@rondanelson.com, RONDANELSON.com. I want to know what's your hill. What's the thing? Because we got to each have a hill. And it helps me. If I know what your hill is, then it helps me be able to support you better. Like if I have someone that needs to know something about what you do, I could say, oh, I know someone who has that hill. I can send them to you. And I'm happy to do that. I think we need more collaboration in and amongst ourselves, especially as we start to, find these positions that we really believe in and that we're willing to talk about. Weston A. Price, look at the change that he made. He brought awareness to something that no one else thought of or no one else had put two and two together. But he thought it through and said, hey, this is the hill I'm willing to die on. Brian Ardis, I don't know, maybe he's right, maybe he's not right, but he's sure passionate about it, about the whole nicotine and the venom in medicine. He's pretty passionate about it, and he's done a lot of research about it, and he might be right. But the no virus thing, there's a lot of people on that bandwagon. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking I might be on that bandwagon too. But I haven't done the research, so I can't make that my hill yet. But I've got several hills, and I bet you do too. So let me know what they are. I would really love to know. As soon as people see you as being confident, you're convicted, and you naturally will become an authority. And that's what people want. People don't want to work with someone who's beige, mamsy-pamsy, can't make a decision. Well, I think we'll do this, or I think we'll do that. No, just like man up, woman up, get your voice, find your voice, be confident about what you believe in, and then start telling people about it. All right, there you go. I hope you love the podcast. This was a good topic. All right, friends, take care. See you soon. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode. But before you go, I've got something special for you. If you are ready to master female hormones during the reproductive years, join me on Saturday, April the 19th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific time for a live virtual seminar. You'll get 2 weeks of replay access and a step-by-step framework of what you really need to know about addressing these kinds of hormone imbalances. Early bird pricing starting right now. It's $50 off when you use the code EARLY50 at checkout, but you have to do that before March 31st at midnight. So all you have to do is go to rondanelson.com/female hormones 2025. That will take you to the registration page. Use that EARLY50 code. That'll take you $50 off. And if you'd like to take it one step further, you can add on a private 2-hour session with yours truly for only $97. I'll walk you through real-life case studies, break down the hormone tests even deeper, and show you how I create protocols for patients using these tests and their intake forms and the information that they provide me. So that's it. I am so excited about this. You're not going to want to miss it. Go to rondanelson.com/female hormones 2025. During the month of March, before March 31st, use that code EARLY50 and you get $50 off registration. And then if you want to join me for the Afterglow after event, 2 hours, you can do that too. All right, friends, can't wait to see you there.